Okay, so it was primarily there as a training aid for us and a record of all of those key investigations over the years. And I think the other important point is there are many things in there that I don't think would be appropriate for open public viewing. But as part of wanting to try and open ourselves up as much as we can, and because there's a massive interest in crime and criminal investigation, we kind of wanted to take forward the project. But I think we had to think very carefully about what we put on display and how we put on display and what the message was we were trying to get across. By the time you get to go into the crime museum, most people have been in the police for a little while. But yeah, I mean that, and I've spoken to other people about those because they do make you think, because they are entirely mundane items, and the fact that someone has taken the time and the effort and the ingenuity to turn them into a weapon, and you may one day be stood, dealing with that person.
Behind me, you'll see some weapons, very crude weapons. These are actually official issue to Metropolitan Police officers. Sorry.
So what do you think happened to this chap?
This gentleman, I think he died. This is his death mask. Where this guy is obviously a dangerous psychotic murderer, or looking at the head potentially, I don't know, a banker, possibly HMIC. You know that joke you play where you put a bit of ink on the binoculars and then people put them on and they've got like black eyes and everybody laughs? That's probably taking it a bit too far. They look like a lump of wood, don't they? And it's 1945 and they don't look like a pair of 1945 binoculars. But the fact that they're spring-loaded, I should imagine that the idea is that you move the focus and two nails pop out into your eyes. But I can't see anybody being fooled by that. These are the exhibits of the famous Dr. Crippen case. And Dr. Crippen was arrested in company with his secretary, and she was dressed as a boy. Yeah, bit boring that one really, but that's it. What do you want? Yeah, here's some drug paraphernalia. Rather a fancy pipe-looking thing. Not a joke about drugs. I think it's very serious. I realised I got a drug problem when I pedalled past Lance Armstrong. I thought, this doesn't feel right. I'm only in second gear. What we've got here is a bag of eyes, as you can see. This is the actual police radio that we still use in the Humberside Police. So we've got some guns. More guns. As you can see with this exhibit, there's a blue blazer there with a clear white arrow pointing down to another gun. The Rover looks very retro. It's sort of one of the longest coupes you could ever hope to see. We don't use them anymore because they're not very good.
They didn't handle all too well, and especially when it was wet weather and you've got 5 sometimes burly cops in the back of them. But they did the job, they got you from A to B, not necessarily that safely because, that's how it was. It's the technologies of vehicles have moved on significantly. But I think I was one of the lucky few when I first joined the Metropolitan Police as a probationer. We managed to wingle a sneak preview and we ended up spending a whole day at what was the Old Dockhall Museum at New Scotland Yard, and I think it was realisation. And when you look through the cabinets which were all on display there, and of course it wasn't open to the public had never seen this was aimed at a few police officers and a few visiting dignitaries. I felt very humble. It really brought home that policing, and it can be a dangerous business, and just to look at the different murders and types of murders and various offences that had taken place over a long period of time, it was very impactful. Well, first of all, it's a long shield which I carried for about 4 or 5 years, not this particular one, but I've seen them when they have, I've been on the receiving end, let's say, on a number of 2-3 different occasions when you've got the real petrol bombs being thrown at you, and it's a hot business, and I think this one's from the events at Broadwater Farm, and you can see just the effects and how hot the sheet, when you get a petrol bomb thrown at you, just how hot it is.
Guns.